When you look at graphs about the increased number of vaccines that kids have been getting over the last 25, 30 years,
Yes.
it almost mirrors the autism rate, it seems like. But yet there's still a big argument there that no, the two aren't connected. I mean, what's your explanation there?
Yeah, this is a stunning thing. You brought it up, and you're very observant, because that path, that line up is nearly identical since the early 90s when they expanded the vaccine schedule for children, based on politics and economics, not on science at all. And yes, autism and the autism spectrum has exploded since then. Now, they still will claim that, oh, well, it's just our diagnostic techniques have gotten so much better, right? It was always here. And I'm asking you, if you're 40 or 45 or 50 or 60 or 65, look around to your peer group. Tell me, where are all the autistic adults that they now can suddenly identify because their diagnostic tools and techniques have improved? They're not there. It didn't happen. It wasn't happening when I was growing up.
Yep.
I had allergies. I was the poster boy for that. I was the canary in the coal mine, but even I didn't have that scenario. But we have explosions in all kinds of neurological deficit issues, attention deficit, things that even preceded that to some degree, but exploded in the 90s and ever since then. So if the kids have been born since about 91, you'll see that we're reaching a new transition of kids becoming adults that are not fully functional. And it absolutely is a vaccine-induced disease scenario that has never before been seen anywhere in history. And it is not because of better diagnostics.
What happens down the road when now all these kids become adults and you know, the snowball effect there, that we have to have more health care for the kids now, that the autistic kids have now become adults, and so on and so on?
Well, honestly, I really feel for these families. I attended Autism One conference last year. I'm scheduled again this year. And I saw the real face of these families that were impacted by having vaccine-damaged children, and it tears your heart to watch what these people are going through. And there are a lot of good docs, and I work with on my radio show as well, and we work with ways to undo some of this damage. But the medical establishment is not prepared to deal with this, and the politics involved and the economics involved are such that even the autism groups have been corrupted, co-opted in ways that they're all fighting amongst each other. And there are good people there that are just doing battle. And part of the reason is, and I was on a panel interviewing Dr. Andrew Wakefield recently. We talked about this, and he said, you know, it's the siege mentality. And I agree. If you've been under siege ever since you started this, like for autism, the parents that say, hey, I know it's the vaccine, yet everybody's fighting you and saying it's not the vaccine. You have this, it's not a chip on your shoulder as much as I know this person probably doesn't believe me, doesn't want to hear me. I've got to shout even louder. And so you can sometimes take that emotion with you, even within the groups that should be coalesced and coming together to say, hey, you guys caused this, you're on the hook for this. But there's not enough money in the world to fulfill the needs that these kids are going to have if they are not undone. In fact, if the damage is not undone holistically, even by physicians that understand this. Like on my show, I do Advanced Medicine Mondays with Dr. Rashid Buttar. He's been one of the most innovative physicians because of his own son and the vaccine damage that happened to bring him into the autism spectrum. And Dr. Buttar found a way to detox him and get him out of that, and has helped so many since then. But there are other physicians that are utilizing these techniques and undoing the damage without government interference. It's not the most or least expensive thing to do, but it's certainly a lot less expensive than ignoring it and pretending it'll go away. And we're in a whole heap of trouble economically in this country if we think we're going to be able to print enough Federal Reserve notes. Even Ben Bernanke can't print enough to undo this damage until we embrace true holistic principles of detoxification and rebuilding these kids' systems, because they've been just absolutely robbed of every essential element that will keep them functioning at a high level that can be restored, but the earlier the better.